Ladies and gentlemen, history is not merely a collection of dates, events, and names etched into textbooks. It is a living, breathing tapestry woven with the threads of human ambition, struggle, triumph, and failure. Yet, beneath the surface of what we are taught lies a hidden pattern, a rhythm that pulses through the ages, connecting the past to the present and the present to the future. This pattern is not always visible to the untrained eye, for it is obscured by the narratives crafted by those in power, those who seek to control the story of humanity. But today we will uncover this hidden pattern, and in doing so, we will unlock the secrets of our collective potential. For centuries, history has been written by the victors, the conquerors, and the rulers. They have shaped the narrative to serve their interests, to justify their actions, and to maintain their dominance. But if we look closely, if we dig deeper, we will find that the true story of humanity is not one of kings and empires, but of ordinary people like you and me who dared to dream, to resist, and to create. This is the hidden pattern of history, the relentless pursuit of progress by those who refuse to accept the status quo. Consider the great revolutions that have shaped our world. The American Revolution, the French Revolution, the civil movement. These were not the work of a single individual or a small group of elites. They were the result of countless individuals who stood up, spoke out, and fought for a better future. They were the result of people who saw the hidden pattern and understood that change is possible, that the arc of history can be bent toward justice. But the hidden pattern is not just about revolutions and movements. It is also about the quiet, everyday acts of courage and determining that go unnoticed. It is about the farmer who toils in the fields to feed his family, the teacher who inspires her students to dream big, the scientist who spends years in the lab searching for a cure. These are the unsung heroes of history, the ones who keep the pattern alive, who ensure that progress continues even in the face of adversity. And yet there are those who would have us believe that history is static, that the world is as it always has been and always will be. They would have us believe that we are powerless, that we cannot change the course of events. But this is a lie, a distortion of the truth. The hidden pattern of history tells story, different story of hope, of resilience, of the indomitable human spirit. Ladies and gentlemen, the hidden pattern of history is not just a curiosity, a puzzle to be solved. It is a call to action, a reminder that we are not passive observers of history, but active participants. We are the ones who will determine the course of the future, who will shape the narrative for generations to come. And if we are to fulfill this responsibility, we must first understand the pattern, recognize its significance, and embrace its lessons. One of the most important lessons of the hidden pattern is that change is inevitable. Empires rise and fall, technologies evolve, and societies transform. But change is not always linear or predictable. It is often messy, chaotic, and fraught with uncertainty, and yet throughout history, those who have embraced change, who have adapted to new circumstances and seized new opportunities have thrived. Those who have resisted change, who have clung to the past, have been left behind. This is not to say that change is always easy or comfortable. On the contrary, it often requires us to step outside of our comfort zones, to confront our fears, and to challenge our assumptions. But it is precisely in these moments of discomfort that we grow, that we discover our true potential. The hidden pattern of history is a testament to the power of adaptability, to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversity. Another lesson of the hidden pattern is the importance of unity. Throughout history, the greatest achievements have been the result of collective action, of people coming together to pursue a common goal. The pyramids of Egypt, the Great Wall of China, the moon landing, these were not the work of individuals, but of communities, of societies united by a shared vision. And yet time and time again, we have seen how division, how the fracturing of communities has led to decline and downfall. This is a lesson that is particularly relevant today in a world that is increasingly polarized, where differences are magnified and common ground is hard to find. But if we are to overcome the challenges of our time, climate change, inequality, political instability, we must find a way to come together, to recognize our shared humanity, and to work toward a common future. The hidden pattern of history reminds us that we are stronger together, that our collective power far exceeds the sum of our individual parts. But perhaps the most important lesson of the hidden pattern is the power of hope. Throughout history, in the darkest of times, it has been hope that has sustained us, that has given us the strength to carry on. It was hope that fueled the abolitionists in their fight against slavery, hope that inspired the suffragettes in their struggle for women's rights, hope that drove the civil rights activists in their march toward equality. Hope is the thread that runs through the hidden pattern, the force that propels us forward. even when the odds seem insurmountable. And yet, hope is not a passive emotion. It is not simply a wish or a dream. It is an active force, a belief in the possibility of a better future coupled with the determination to make that future a reality. Hope is what drives us to take action, to push through the obstacles, to keep going even when the path ahead is unclear. It is the spark that ignites the fire of change, the fuel that keeps the hidden pattern alive. Ladies and gentlemen, the hidden pattern of history is not just a story of the past. It is a blueprint for the future. It is a reminder that we are not bound by the circumstances of our birth, by the limitations of our time, or by the narratives that others impose upon us. We have the power to shape our own destiny, to write our own story, to create a future that reflects our highest aspirations. But to do this, we must first recognize the hidden pattern. We must see beyond the surface, beyond the illusions and distortions, to the truth that lies beneath. We must understand that history is not a series of random events, but a tapestry woven with purpose and meaning. And we must embrace the lessons of the hidden pattern, the lessons of adaptability, unity, and hope. The road ahead will not be easy. There will be challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. But if we hold fast to the hidden pattern, if we remain true to its lessons, we will find the strength to persevere. We will find the courage to dream, to resist, and to create. And in doing so, we will not only honor the legacy of those who came before us, but we will also pave the way for those who will come after. So let us go forth with hope in our hearts and determination in our souls. Let us embrace the hidden pattern of history and make it our own. Let us write a new chapter in the story of humanity, one that reflects our highest ideals and our deepest aspirations. For the hidden pattern is not just a story of the past, it is a call to action, a reminder that the future is ours to shape, and that together we can create a world that is more just, more equitable, and more beautiful than ever before. This hidden pattern is not always visible to the naked eye. It is often obscured by the narratives that are handed down to us, shaped by the victors, the powerful, and the influential. These narratives are constructed in a way that simplifies the complexity of history, but in doing so, they hide the intricate connections that truly define the course of human events. However, if you dare to look closer, if you are willing to see beyond the surface, you will find that there is a deeper structure at play. A structure that suggests history is not just a random collection of events, but rather a cyclical force driven by patterns of human behavior, power dynamics, and societal evolution. Think about the way civilizations rise and fall. We are taught that every civilization has a lifespan beginning with a period of prosperity and growth, followed by decline and eventual collapse. We learn about the great empires of the past, the Romans, the Greeks, the Egyptians, how they built mighty cities and created incredible cultures, only to eventually crumble under the weight of their own excess, corruption, and internal strife. But what if this cycle is not just a random sequence? What if it is a recurring pattern, an inevitable cycle driven by the very nature of human existence? The pattern is not just about the rise and fall of civilizations, but about the forces that drive those changes. At the heart of this pattern are the cycles of human behavior. People driven by ambition, fear, and desire inevitably repeat the same mistakes. Empires are built on the backs of the oppressed, on the exploitation of resources, and on the manipulation of power. Over time, as the leaders grow more corrupt and the people grow more disenfranchised, the empire begins to crumble. And yet, as one empire falls, another rises, often repeating the same patterns, driven by the same forces. This cyclical nature of history suggests that we are not merely passive participants in the events that unfold around us. We are active players in the ongoing drama of human existence. The choices we make, the systems we create, and the values we hold all contribute to the patterns that emerge over time. The individuals who rise to power, the leaders who shape the course of nations, are not isolated figures. They are products of the same forces that have shaped history for millennia. Ladies and gentlemen, if we are to understand the true nature of history, we must first acknowledge the forces that drive it. These forces are not just external wars, revolutions, and economic shifts. They are deeply rooted within the human psyche. At the heart of history is the struggle for power. Whether it is the rise of a new empire or the overthrow of an old one, power is the central theme that defines the course of human events. The desire for power is what drives individuals to seek control, to manipulate others, and to shape the future. But power is also fleeting, and it is this impermanence that ultimately leads to the downfall of those who seek to hold it. This hidden pattern also reveals a deeper truth about the nature of progress. We often think of progress as a linear process, a constant march forward toward greater enlightenment, justice, and prosperity. But history shows us that progress is not always a straight line. It is a series of peaks and valleys, moments of great advancement followed by periods of stagnation or even regression. The rise of new ideas, technologies, and philosophies often coincides with periods of great turmoil and conflict. Progress is not something that happens in a vacuum. It is shaped by the struggles of individuals, the clash of ideas, and the constant push and pull of opposing forces.